Futsal community, welcome to Caro Futsal podcast number 25. Every podcast, I bring a unique guest, someone that can share with us a beautiful story. And today is not different. Today, I have the head coach of the UAE national team, Captain Abdul Raouf Marzooqi. Actually, can you just help me saying your name, please?
Okay, my full name is Abdul Raouf Omar Al Marzooqi. Everyone calling me as Raouf.
So,
Uh,
Raouf, as
first,
you.
first of all, before we start, I would like to thank you for receiving me in your podcast. And another thing is really an honor to me to be in your podcast.
No, the pleasure is all mine, Raouf, Captain Raouf. So, not just a head coach, you are a legend of futsal in UAE. You've won the National League 4 times, the President's Cup 4, Super Cup 3, NAS 2 times. Do you consider yourself as being a legend of futsal in UAE?
I wouldn't say like okay to hear like I'm a legend from you. It's again an honor to me. But my career in futsal in UAE, I can see it was for me successful. I won almost all the championships here. So many trophy during while I was playing, and then since that when I stopped, then I joined the national team and my career started from that.
So, I started from the national team. And all right, so guys, we're going to be talking about Raouf's futsal career. We're going to be talking also about futsal in UAE, its history, the current moment of futsal in the country, and the UAE national team. But Raouf, before we start, talk about your early days, your childhood. The country has changed a lot for the past 30, 40 years. How was growing up and where did you grow up?
First of all, everyone knows that United Arab Emirates it's now growing up very fast. Especially everyone heard about Dubai, and now we're having Expo 2020 Dubai. You can like who visited here, they can see the big changes happening during our last 30 years. Uh, Before, like we are very close community, but now it's becoming famous and famous and it's worldwide. Everyone coming over here, even or to work or study, to do many other things. So the life has been changing a lot during last 30 years. Even we didn't have like like big like would say construction and like this. Now we are one of the leading countries, which is really when you come over here you will see it's like amazing place to live, to work, or even to enjoy the place.
Yeah, it is definitely a beautiful place. I was lucky enough to spend last year there, and I was lucky enough to meet you. And every time I met
It,
you, you were really nice, and I could see your passion to grow futsal in the country.
yeah, the pleasure was for us to have you in here. When you was here, sure, 100%. You put an influence to us, to so many players until now. They're talking great things about you and how you influence them, and it was such like a grateful time that you have been with us for like for 1 year. It was a very short moment. We like hoping you would stay with us for so many years, but you went back to your place and keep doing what you love to do.
Nah, great memories in a beautiful country, Dubai, though. But Raouf, growing up, what did you do? Do you play soccer? Do you play foot? Was there any
Yes.
futsal to play there?
About myself, I started playing soccer since I'm 5 years old. I was playing in
Hmm.
Al Wasl club. You've been there in Al Nasser club. Next to you, it was
Yes.
Al Wasl club, and there's like a big derby between them. And I born in Dubai. Then I played for Al Wasl club since I'm 5 years old. Then I grow up playing soccer only. In that time, there's no futsal in UAE.
Hmm.
I played until the senior team. Then I left to England to study. I studied avionics, which is aircraft engineering in England for four
Oh,
years,
nice.
and I was away from my beloved sports. Like I really loved in that time to play soccer or football in that time. So, but I left to study. It's like for my other career is studying. I studied aircraft engineering. When I came back again to soccer. It was in 2000. I played soccer again till 2009. 2009, futsal started in UAE. So we are not really, almost I would say 12 years now, 12 to 13 years already
Uh-huh.
futsal in UAE. We can
It's not
consider it
long.
as it's very short time. And also for this short times, we are very happy for where we are reaching, uh, especially in the area, like would say between in GCC countries or even in Asia. We are saying we are in a good position for this duration. So we started 2009. In that days, to be honest, how we started is like, friends gets together and
Uh-huh.
we go play futsal. It was like only futsal rules, but the same like friends who's playing like pivot forwards. They're playing forwards whose defense is defense. I used,
Uh,
as I remember, I used to play only like a right side defense. I go shoot and come back only. How this is how we started.
just on the right side. You didn't get out of the right
Just
side
on
of the
the right
court.
side. I never go on my left side. Left side, I have another one to defense. And who
Uh-huh.
was forwards after losing the ball, he doesn't come to help us. It's like football, but it was indoor.
Yeah.
And then slightly start to change. The futsal life start to change in UAE, especially when the first year for UAE national team started, I think in 2010, with the coach Padu. He's a Brazilian coach.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, there was a guy called Sarmat. I think you heard about him. He's the one he was the CEO of futsal in that moment. He really uh, was working very hard to improve futsal in UAE. So one of his targets, he brought a professional coach. He
Mm-hmm.
was Padu with a good CV. Padu had a good CV in that time. He was coaching in Spain for so long. He even played, I think, for Brazil national team for so long. And then when he came here, we started honestly to learn from the beginning, from the base, how you
Uh-huh.
control the ball, how you feint, how you need to make a simple movement. Like when we started to know 3-1, it was in 2010. It's like, what is 3-1? What is 4-0? We never know what does this mean to us
Yeah.
till Padu came, and then he started really from the beginning. He had a very hard time. Imagine in senior first national team, you are teaching the players how to control the ball, how to feint, how to make one movement. Honestly, he worked very, very, very hard with us. In that time, we played also a qualification for Asia. And then the year after, we played the final Asia by only hosting.
Yeah.
It wasn't in
2012.
yes, 2012. I was not lucky in that time to play in 2012. I was, although, the captain of UAE national team, but I left to England also to. I had a course there, and then I had to be in that time there
Mm-hmm.
to study. And unfortunately, I was not so lucky to play the finals in Dubai in that time.
Yeah.
Then start like one of the earliest coaches who came here, Roy Guimarães. He's from Portugal. He stayed
Rui
here also
Guimarães.
for so
Yeah, yeah.
long. He has so many trophies here also. He may be one of the first foreigner coaches who has come also to UAE after Coach Padu, and he was Al Hamriya, Al Hamriya club coach. Then he left from Al Hamriya to Al Wasl and so on to other clubs. Then here started some coaches to come from abroad. In that time, I was playing Al Wasl. Roy Guimarães was with us, but from my own side, I would see like futsal in UAE has changed a lot, especially when Al Wahda futsal started in in the league in UAE.
Mm-hmm.
We started Al Wahda futsal 2014 they started as a team in futsal in UAE. Unfortunately, now the team no longer is in the league. But when Al Wahda started, I moved from Al Wasl even to Al Wahda. But again, Sarmad was the CEO of the team in that time. Coach Pablo Periota came from Spain to Al Wahda, and here Al Wahda started to train daily like a normal team, I would say.
Were they the first team to train every day?
First team to train every day. If we have let's say a 1 week, then we training minimum 6 days. It's like constant training, and this was strange for us as a futsal players, because to be honest, when we started, then it was the group friends just go to play a match. Then the matches was also in one complex that everyone's comes to play in one place. It was in Sharjah. Everyone's comes to play in one place. All the league, it's like it was
on the same day.
On the same day in the same place. Then and the training was sometimes for other teams is to train twice a week or 3 times a week maximum. And the players get together only to play like friendly matches before going to play an official match. And this is how was it until Pablo Prieto come, and then we training every day. Then when we started to play in the league, it's very difficult for other teams to catch up with us.
Yeah.
Like, the percentage of having positioning the ball, it was more than 80% to all the teams. Then the teams to compete with us, it influenced back to other teams to train every day. And I think here futsal started to grow up like to training. Some teams start to train every day. Still not like it was not all the teams training every day, but this influence came to other teams who would like to compete like Al Wahda to play.
What year was that? Around 2015, 16, you said?
It was 2014. The
14.
First year started Al Wahda Futsal. In the first round of the league, we were champion, even leading by 4 points. But the year has ended. Al Khalij Club, which is now Khorfakan Futsal Club, they won the league in that time. After that, we like Al Wahda, we were second like in the league, second even President Cup. We didn't win any trophy in the first year, but it's to enter first year and to compete to be a champion from the first year, it was like a big hit. Then the next year, Al Wahda become a champion of the league with Marcos Serrato. In that time, Marcos Serrato came the next year to Al Wahda club. Pablo Prieto was in a Nasser club in that time. He left Al Wahda club. Then a Nasser club brought him to be as a head coach in a Nasser club. So as you hearing now, I'm saying for me, it's big names in futsal. They start to come over here, which is Marcos Serrato's Pipoca, as known as Pipoca.
Yeah.
He was a champion of, he was world champion in 2012. Then he went to Russia. From Russia, he came to us, which is, here like we were like a spot. How the world champion coach, he was the last world champion coach.
Yeah.
He's working in UAE. So everyone like, what is UAE? Why he went there? And then UAE was a UAE league, the UAE Futsal League was a spot. Like everyone start to ask. Then also we received so many foreigner coach. I would say I'm sorry if I forgot someone.
Yes, of course.
Yes, because really, honestly, the game, as I said, the futsal, it's very new for us. Sure, in Brazil is different, in Spain is big difference. And really, these people who I would like even to thank them, they changed the mentality of futsal here. They changed the way we play futsal in here. They're the one who has the credit, I would say, for us to teach to taught us how to play futsal, how to think different, and the influence it came from them, which was I would start again. I would be very thankful for like Padu, Roy, Marcos Serrato, Pablo Priota. Now we're having like Coach Rafa. You worked with him as assistant coach. He's in Al Nasser, doing a very, very good job with Al Nasser. Also, let me, okay, like Coach Dijan from Dafra
Dijon.
now. And who else we have? Uh, uh, I would say even who I forget them, I'm very sorry for them, but they influence even the local coaches, even the resident coaches. Like Coach Abdul Basit, he did a very good
Correct.
system.
I was about to mention that because
Yeah,
now you also have some good local coaches, that
yeah.
Abdul Basic,
Abdul
Adnan as
Basit,
well.
Adnan, doing like the first, I would say, first local coach who was in that time taking big trophies like Coach Anwar. He's from Khorfakan Club.
Yes.
I told him 2014, where we as Al Wahda playing very good. W- We only lost to Khorfakan, and he won in that year all the championship in UAE. So he did great in that time. But I would say Coach Abdul Basit, Adnan, even myself, we were influenced by these coaches. We went maybe with them, even like with Coach Roy, we traveled with him to see UEFA champion futsal champion league. It was a big jump for us to see how futsal
Did
different.
Abdul Basic and Adnan used to play futsal as well or not?
Honestly, no. Abdul Basit, he
Hmm.
used to play futsal like with friends, as I said,
Yes.
but they didn't play official league.
But you had the experience to have these guys as your coaches. So you're coached by Pablo Prieto, Marcos Sorato. Were you coached by
Padu,
Rui as well?
it was Padu the first year,
Padu the first year?
and then Pablo Prieto, which Pablo Prieto changed my mind in tactical and futsal. Like I would say the Spanish school, they are
Yes.
very strong in especially in tactics strategies like this.
Hmm.
And Pablo Prieto put this influence into me, like all the tactics, and he really started to. From that day, I can see Pablo like pushing me to come. Like my career will be as a coach. Like he was
Yes.
always saying this. And then when Marcos Serrato came from your podcast, I would really like converse and say Marcos Serrato, he is my idol as a coach. I didn't see him while was he playing, but when he came for us as a coach, for me, he's my idol. The thing is, in Marcos Rato, he's tried to put the model of the game or system you're playing with your natural movement, with your natural enjoying in play. And this is was for me like it's a big influence I took from Marcos Rato. Still now I can see him one of my best idols. I hope one day like it's difficult to reach where he reached, but I'm doing my best. I'm talking to him every day. I'm very happy he is always proud, and also I'm proud that I worked with this legend. And if you're saying I'm a legend, to be honest, he is was for us the biggest legend has ever come to a the world champion has been
Yes.
here.
And Mark,
And
it's
it was
interesting about can you hear me?
yes, now perfect.
It's what's interesting about Mark Sorato is that even though he's Brazilian, he spent most of his life in Spain. So he's got that mixture of Brazil and Spain that he understands both cultures as well.
As I told you, we had lots of Brazilian coaches, and then we had also Spanish coach like Pablo Priota. When I saw Marcos, as you said exactly, he's like a mixture because he spent
Yeah,
so long time in Spain. And then he's Brazilian too. You can see him as a mixture. So today, who's leading futsal in the world is, I would say, Brazil and Spain. So
always
they
the
are,
two.
yes, although like the last World Cup champion is Portugal, but I think still, I believe who's leading futsal and they are always like, competing to be champion of any competition they will enter. It's Brazil and Spain. And I saw Marcos is like mix in this situation.
Yeah, at that level, really, the nations are so similar that anyone can win because we saw Argentina winning one and then losing the next year to Portugal, and Portugal won on penalties to Argentina won on penalties. I think in the semifinal, quarterfinals. It's just details, isn't it?
The futsal is about details, and this is what we learned here. Like, details make it different than futsal. If you care about details, then you're doing it different. If you don't care about these details, you're losing so many things in futsal. And the interesting in futsal is details.
Yeah, but Raouf, let's just go back a little bit. In the going back to the early days of starting futsal in UAE and making futsal big the way it is now. Obviously, the country is a rich country with a lot of financial support, so you were able to have prize money to be able to pay players, bring coaches, amazing coaches, as you mentioned. But what were some of the challenges to grow futsal in the country? Maybe some cultural challenges.
Okay, the biggest challenge, first of all, I would like to tell you, our culture here, to have the first step, it's always difficult. Like everyone, futsal, what is futsal? Like here, it was always the first step. It's very, very difficult to everyone in UAE. Even though we will come after that to tell you even the first step in even improving it, the first step always difficult for us, and this is our challenge always. It's, I would say, it's a culture in here.
Mm-hmm.
So when we started futsal, uh, like people or anyone from outside futsal is like, what is futsal? They don't know what is futsal, what we have to do with futsal. But when they come in futsal life, then it's like a magic enter in their blood. They cannot leave this game.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you, I grew up as a football player or soccer player, and then when I enter futsal, uh, I really care about futsal more than soccer. Even I'm not watching now the biggest game in soccer, but if you're telling me there is any futsal game, I'm there to watch. It's very interesting. It's the seconds making big difference in futsal.
Yeah.
So these feelings, where you will feel in futsal, you will not feel it in any other games. So the challenge was, first of all, like the clubs, to have a futsal team. It was a very difficult. So we started first. There's some clubs, they started futsal in the first league, but also there was companies in that time. They can enter futsal. It's only
Okay.
to support to make a futsal league. In that time, when we started, we have like a 12 teams. Imagine now we're having a 10 team. So if we are saying we started with a bigger number of the teams. But in that time, any companies can enter, and it was no rules, like you enter, if you want to leave, you can leave, only to spread futsal in the area. Then futsal, it was on TV, started slowly getting to know futsal in that time. But what's happened that time? Same like me, one of the guys, I was playing soccer. Then when I stopped soccer, then my friends start to call me, Raouf, let's go enjoy in futsal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go futsal, like, it's like your retirement place. You retired from soccer or football, and then you go to play futsal. But now it has been changed, and this was the challenge before. Only you will see futsal like ex-players from football.
Okay.
But now we start to have a really futsal player, uh, 20 years old, even 18 years old. And this, I would say, after 3 years, we will see the difference in UAE, even better, or really difference than when we started futsal. As I told you, I played futsal 4 years. There's only attack and defense. But now who's playing futsal, he's direct. Maybe all the coaches, all the clubs, they start to play, I would say, the real futsal. Already the player in senior team, he knows how to control by soul, to feint.
Mm-hmm.
At least he know small basic things about futsal, which make even the coach job a little bit easier than how we started in 2009 or 2010. This was the biggest challenge. Uh, Still, we have so many challenges to come over. We will talk about it.
Yeah, let's get to that in a point in a sec. All right, going to the current situation of futsal in UAE. Can you just explain to people how futsal works there? How many tournaments you have? Um,
Yes.
how many divisions? How age groups you have as well?
Yeah. For now, we still have only one division, but we have senior, we have under 23, and then under 20, which is,
Mm-hmm.
we call them youth, but it's senior, under 23, and under 20. For senior, we have 5 competitions.
Five. It's a
Uh,
lot of competitions, huh?
a lot, but the number of the teams now we have is 10 teams. So we're
Mm-hmm.
having 5 competitions to at least futsal players play as much as he can, especially like matches, and from here he can improve. Like in other countries, Brazil, Spain, end of the year he's playing, let's say, I think he can reach to 50 matches per year almost.
Yeah.
Well, here we are not reaching this number for sure, but at least we're trying to maintain the level of the players playing so many matches, and matches make it different for the players, not only training. So we have the first competition, I would say it's Super Cup competition, and this is
Yeah.
all normally it's between the champion of the league and champion of the President Cup. So, but from the next year, from now on, I'm announcing you, it will be a different style. It will be a Super Cup with 4 teams. So we have the UAE Futsal League. It's um, it's the whole season league with a playoff. We are 10 teams now. 8 teams is qualifying to playoff, and then they're
Mm-hmm.
playing quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. The previous year, it was only 5 teams in the playoff, and the first teams stay in the top, waiting for the fourth team to play a one-round league and then semi-final, and then they come to play with him.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we changed, because the first team who's there not playing anything until the teams qualify to play a final with them. And now we have also, as another one, we have a President Cup. One of also like strongest tournament for us is President Cup. It means a lot
Yeah.
to us. Here in UAE, everyone like in love with their leader commanders, and our president is not only our president, he's our father, is staying in
Yeah.
our heart, everything's you. When you were here, you feel this, the relationship between the citizens and the leaders is very strong, because I think they gave us everything. They gave us what we need and what we don't need. They make the life in UAE, it's especially for UAE citizens, a very good life, and that's why this relations comes. So the
Mm-hmm.
President Cups means a lot to us, and that's why it's very special. And then also we have we call it Federation Cup and Emirates Cup. Federation Cup, it's normally I would say it's a pre-season tournament
Mm-hmm.
for the clubs. Is normally this cup, when we have a national team. I would say when I was a player, 9 years I didn't play Federation Cup, because I was always with the national team.
I understand.
The national team player, normally you cannot play Federation Cup. So they use this cup to play when the national team camping or the national team playing any tournaments. So the teams will not stop or doing nothing. They're playing like Federation Cup or Emirates Cup. And so these other 2 cups, I think you won the Emirates Cup, right? In UAE.
Oh, I can't even keep up with the names. I get so confused sometimes.
Okay, so this is the competition that we have for the senior.
Yeah.
We This was the first year that we had under 23 now. It's just we had only the league for under 23, and it's going parallel with the senior league. So if
Hmm.
you're like a Nasser club, we would say you're playing today for the senior against Sharjah club, then tomorrow you're under 23 playing against Sharjah club. So
Charger.
you use the some of the players from the senior and under 23 to play who didn't play really in the first team. They can play with under.
And how was the league? How was the feedback of the league?
Uh, for from my opinion, we didn't expect how it will be, but when we saw the first year, I think we the UAE like UAE committee, UAE Futsal committee, they really succeed in this decision to have under 23. It's very important for us in UAE to have under 23 because we don't have, futsal schools here, or we don't have even, let's say, a lot of futsal academies. We don't have, uh, like, let's say, under 17, under 15. And if you're having even, I would say, if you have a futsal academic, it will make a futsal players in a senior very easy. But we had a gap between the senior player and under 20 players. There
Uh-huh.
is a big gap here. So we need to close this gap by putting this under 23 league there. We saw it's a very successful year for them. And as I said, from first year, sometimes you cannot say, are you successful or not? You need to wait
Yeah.
maybe couple of years or 3 4 years to see did a good decision to put under 23 or no. But I think from first year it was a very good decision to made by UAE Futsal Committee.
Because
And
that was one of the discussions that we used to have. We thought, in my
yes,
opinion, at the start, remember I even mentioned to you, I say, isn't it better to start at under 17s, 15s instead of starting under 23s? So it's very
yeah,
good to hear there was a successful and it was the right decision.
it was big successful. I would tell you the ages of all the clubs, even when you're working in Nasser, who's playing really like playing in futsal seniors, their age were between, I would say, 28 till 35, something like this. But
Yes.
if I'm saying from 28 to 20, in each team is very difficult to find one player. So it was a big gap here because as a coach, sometimes when you as a coach you want to play to win, and then even we have
Of
five
course.
competitions and the coach is under pressure to win, and so sometimes he doesn't have the time to give a chance for like I would say these young players to play and grow up, and so and so these players, we had a lots of players, they are talented, but they started futsal first or second year and they are age 22, 24. When they don't have the space to compete with experienced players to play the matches, then they run away.
Yeah.
And under 23 we kept these players with us again. So I think first year it was a successful, although as what you mentioned, or as we per our discussed before, if we want to have even we have now under 20 like a cup and league,
Hmm.
it's better than what we had even before. It's growing up. It's growing up. I told you when you came, you put a good influence in this league in youth league. The influence you left here is still going on. People start still talking good things about you, and which is this is for me is a big prize. If you live somewhere and you left for you like an influence in that place, which is what you have done. So one day if I'm leaving a place, I really would like to hear what today I'm hearing about you, to hear
It's even
about
more, it's even better than money or anything, isn't it? It's
yes,
the best feeling.
this is your pride, this is your everything's. When you
Correct.
left, I feel it. I would say I'm a bit jealous when you left. Start people saying, when the people talking good, are saying, I wish if I leave, people start to talk the same.
Hmm.
You know, people remember
I'm
you
sure
in a
they
good
will.
way.
I'm sure they will.
Inshallah. uh,
Inshallah. Captain
yes,
Raouf, we what's missing in UAE? You say the next step. So you had this step of starting under 23s. You guys done it.
yes.
What's next? What needs to be done for futsal to grow even more?
For me, there's big two challenges. One, because as you know, futsal in UAE is under Football Federation as well.
Hmm.
Okay, FA, Futsal Association Football. We are under Football Federation. Uh, First, we need to spread, or we need to have more teams. When you have more teams, you will have maybe more divisions. As you mentioned before, you asked me how many divisions there.
Hmm.
We are only one divisions. If we have two divisions, it will be big difference. But we cannot have two divisions for 10 teams. So if futsal teams start to increase in UAE. And I'm saying here why I mentioned UAE Federation. We need a support. I would say minimum any professional football club. If they have a futsal team, uh, futsal will improve. But in vice versa, I'm 100%. If they start to have a futsal academy there in football, they will like investing in football by futsal, because I everyone know now, everyone educated now. The best players, the biggest players in the world, they started with futsal, and this futsal make you a sure a better
So
football player.
we
So
just sorry, we just saw yesterday Halle Goik from Belgium announcing that they have partnered up with the biggest soccer club in Belgium. So next season is not going to be called Halle Goik. It's going to be the name of the soccer team, and that's
yes,
huge in Belgium. So you think that every soccer club in UAE should have a futsal team?
I would say if they want to invest, uh, even in football, they have to
They
start.
should.
I will not say they have to start it in coming years. No, you start today. If you start today, sure, 100%, you will see it coming uh, for you as a football. But also futsal will improve a lot. So first, like if futsal spread as a teams in UAE, it will be a big step, big jump there. Second, we need to have, as we always talking, if you want to have a better under 20, we need to have under 17, and then we
Hmm.
need to have under 15. And honestly, if I like I have kids, right? I have a kids 5 years old, 7 years old. Even if he wants to play football, I'll take him to futsal. In futsal, the young player or this child, he will learn how to use or how to touch the ball more than football. And this is, as we like futsal people can talk about this like for every day. You put your son in futsal, in 5 minutes he touched the ball 20 times. You put him in football, in 5 minutes maybe he touched the ball one times or two times. So when
Yeah.
he's young, he need to to be in touch with the ball more than only just doing nothing. And I think to have this under 17, under 15, and even under 13, it will be a dream. And in this time, I think UAE football will be very strong and will compete even in national competitions.
Hmm.
But today, to play only senior, we just started under 23 and under 20. So still to play only senior, we still have, I would say, still sometimes in national team, even now, sometimes you are sometimes taking the players to teach them the basic tactical futsal, which is listen how your body positioning should be, how you need to fend, how you need to control. And it's very hard job to do in this in national team. If you want to compete, I would say. If
Hmm.
you want only to play, it's okay. But if you want to compete in the area or you want to go more further, we need to have this under 17, 15, and so on.
No, I understand. All right. So, yeah, so much I want to talk to you. So, there a few things to improve the country. But the next thing I want to talk about the NAS tournament, because one of my first memories of hearing about futsal in UAE was the NAS. So I remember in the 2000 maybe 12, 13, I can't 15. I can't remember exactly the years. I used to see Falcão going to UAE. I used to see. I think Zidane went to UAE as well, didn't he?
Yes.
Ricardinho, many of these big players. Um, how important do you think that this NAS tournament was?
First of all, NAS tournament is not the Shaba tournament. This is supported by Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid. He is a vice president of Dubai. He is very athlete leader. When NAS futsal started, it was everyone in the whole world is like can see a NAS sport. It's a big sport. As you mentioned, Zidane was here. Falcao came here. I played NAS with the first year. I played NAS with Falcao, Miguelin, and Alex from Spain, and Falcao was with us. To see Fal as a futsal player, when as I told you, we are 10 years futsal only, but in that time, I think we played futsal for 7 years. To see Falcao as a futsal legend, no, I can say Falcao is a Falcao in futsal. It's our every futsal player legend. So
Hmm.
to see Falcao with you in the pitch is like, the first day, like it's a dream.
Yeah.
You need to wake up another day and say, oh, it's fact today. So again, thanks to Nas for us that we met these legends. Falcao was there, Ricardino was there, but first year Ricardino was the first player who came to Nas, and then the year after Falcao's there, Ricardino's there. So many players. Ferrao was here with us. If
Yeah.
you mentioned today, Ari, one of really big names in futsal, also was with us. So many players. If even it's a big list to mention them, but really, really big names come to tournament NAS, and in that moment, everyone you heard about NAS, but I'm sure everyone who likes futsal or who playing futsal, he's hearing about NAS and he would like to involve with NAS. So it was a big support from Sheikh Hamdan to everyone, and it was a chance for us. He gave every UAE players, every citizens here, or every people who's living also in Dubai to meet the best futsal player in the world. And these days was amazing. First year we were second, and also I won 2 times NAS. I think I was very, it was very, very, very great memories in that times.
Yeah. Is there any chance of this NAS tournament come back for futsal, or it would
Oh,
be really hard at the moment?
NAS, it was like every Ramadan time. Ramadan time is the holy month for Muslims, as you know.
Yes.
So in this time is it's NAS tournament starting, or every year is like NAS. NAS stopped because, as you know, is when COVID uh, uh, come like a pandemic in the whole world, then so many countries stopped so many things, and one of the things that has been stopped until now, it was a NAS tournament.
Hmm.
There's no news, to be honest, that if NAS coming back now or no, but sure it will come back one day. And here everyone, today NAS is, it's a big tournament's name, so it will come again, I'm sure, because our leader, the athlete leader, Sheikh Hamdan, sure, uh, he he again will, like, will give the, what we say is, will give the soul again to these tournaments to come again and again.
Hmm.
So for now, I don't know if this next year coming up or no, but it will come back.
No, very good, because we see so many exciting things happening with futsal at the moment. Futsal is growing so much everywhere. Yeah,
True.
and it'll be good to have the NAS tournament back. Captain Raouf, let's talk now about the national team. So you started your coaching job with the head coach job with the national team in 2018. Um, how was the start of that process and until the 2020 AFC qualifiers that you guys just missed out the very first time that you guys would have qualified for the AFC?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to speak about this career, how I became a head coach of UAE national team. Uh, I was playing in Al Nasser futsal in that time as a player in Al Nasser, and my coach was Marcos Serrato. Uh, we the committee of futsal in that time, with a guy who's responsible about national teams called Saeed Al Ajil. He had a meeting with Marcos Serrato to sign with him for national team for like 2017, and I was only a player in that time. And then they asked me already to have me as a project for UAE national team.
Mhm.
And the project was, if they will take Marcos Rato 2017 as a coach, and then to stay like 2 or 3 years, Marcos as a coach, and then I am as assistant, and this a process from assistant to learn from Marcos, how does it work, how to be a coach, and then to be a coach in future for UAE. So like one process or one investment they wanted to do in that time. So in 2017 they like gave me this opportunity or push to say, okay, I was a champion with Al Nasser Futsal President Cup, and in that time I still, even as a player, maybe I was one of the most players who, if you like scouting, I'm playing the most minutes as a futsal player in that time. But
Yeah,
still I said, okay, the chance came to me, let's change the life, let's change the career. It was in the beginning it was very difficult. You always, when you stop, you as a coach, you always wants to enter, you wants to
I
go
know that
back.
feeling. Well, last year I
Yeah.
couldn't play in Dubai, and I was missing it so much.
Yeah, so sure, 100%. Feeling, or you felt what I felt in that
Yes.
time. Uh, Somehow, Marcos in 2018 he left to China to be a coach in China, one of China clubs there, and there was no coach for UAE national team at that time. So the committee first, they were thinking to bring another coach, but the guy, this Said Al Ajli, said, "You know what, Rauf? I think I don't need to wait one more year. The process was 2 years, maybe
Hmm.
3 years, but it's after 1 year. I think I believe in you, and you can take the team." For me, like it was a shock. Okay, 1 year as assistant. Am I ready? I'm not ready. Then I said, okay, let's go. So
Yeah.
here, 2018, I started as a head coach for national team. In that time, Coach Joao, he was a goalkeeper coach from Portugal, was working with me. He was working in Adafra as a goalkeeper coach, and he was working with me in national team uh, as a goalkeeper coach. He was my only staff in that time. So he was my assistant, my goalkeeper
Yeah.
coach. Also, he is always my one of my biggest supporter also until today. So we started to work in national team for 2018, and then it continued until, as you said, the first competition was for us in 2020. Sorry, it was 2019 when we played in Bahrain. We were almost there. The thing is, when we left to Bahrain, to be honest, in UAE, the futsal player, they are not professional 100% in futsal. So every player, they have a primary job, and then futsal is a secondary for them.
Yeah.
So the first year I called a 17 player for national team. I had maximum like 8 to 10 players in my trainings. Then I have to take another players. These players who didn't come because they couldn't travel with me because of their job. They couldn't leave the job, and their job is primary for them. Then we take another players. We work a really short in that time. Then we went to Bahrain. Uh, I would say we didn't go with everyone, but the players who was with me there, I'm still very proud of each player who was with me because they gave everything there. They fight, they did everything. But some players I took, even they trained with me only 2 days and left because the time we want to travel, there is few players. The last moment they said we cannot leave, and it was a very difficult for me as a coach. Okay, I'm training like a month, you're preparing a team, and you know futsal is details. So then you travel, you don't have these players with you. It was a very difficult, but we started there. When we started, we played with the first match with the host, which was Bahrain.
You drew
We
three
drew
all.
3-all, but we were losing 3-1. To be honest, in that time I was the youngest coach there. It was my first official tournament. The first match for me, you enter the first match and the fans there, the host and the host, they had their fans there like, okay. And in here, I think it started to click with me. So we were losing 3-1. We put power play, we draw 3-3. And then we played against Kuwait the second match. We lost against Kuwait, but we played very good against Kuwait. And Kuwait, until now, even in that time, they are one of the strongest team in the GCC countries. And Kuwait, they had Coach Kakao with them. Kakao, to me being in a side with Kakao, it's like big, so you can see like Kakao, okay, he's one of the legends or one of the big names coaching in futsal in worldwide. So I'm standing next to him, competing him. It was a very good experience, although he's one of the guys who are also supporting me in this career. So we lost, but we played very good. I was even proud of this. And even after the match, he came, he said, listen, I'm proud of you. I know you can go further. We did a great job with Iraq, and Iraq in that time, they were the top of the group. We won Iraq. We saw, come on, guys, we can qualify. Because in that time, we know Kuwait is there, Iraq is there, Bahrain, the host, is there.
Yeah.
We think, okay, it's difficult. But when we enter, we draw the first match. Then we played a very good game with Kuwait. Guys, we can do it. We enter very strong in Iraq. When we won, okay, we can go more. Then we played the fourth match with Palestine. And then Oman was the last game. We didn't qualify as a third position or playoff with Oman. Oman did a good job, honestly, in that match. But I would say my players were exhausted. They are not a UAE players, or because as I told you, not professional 100%. So playing every day a match. So we played 4 matches in a row. Is Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, and Palestine. Especially the first 3 matches was very, very strong. When we played against Palestine, even like Palestine was okay, normal team in that moment. We were losing to Palestine 3-1 in the first half because I think physical condition of my players was done. They exhausted 100%. And we came back to the game by playing all the second half by power play. When we enter Oman, I could see my players not able even to run. And this was one of the big challenges there. Still, I would say it's we didn't qualify. I took the responsibility over there, and still I'm taking this responsibility. Uh, Hope this year it's in our home. It's not easy for us. We having Iraq and Bahrain in our group, and this year hope we will make it. We didn't make it last time. We were close, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
This is the step. You need to be close one day, then next day you qualify.
Yeah, you
And
guys are knock on the door. You guys are coming,
yeah,
asking to come in and asking to come to the next AFC.
yes,
How
and
has this
hopefully
preparation for this tournament been so far? The preparation, how many
yes.
weeks you guys been preparing, and what's your expectation for the tournament?
We started preparation from 13 of the first day. It was 13th of March. Almost now 13 days. We started the preparation. We are camping in Sharjah. We are training in Al Batayah Club. We have 2 sessions training sometimes. We are training morning and afternoon. I'm very happy with the attitude of my players. I'm very happy with the concentrating of the players, the responsibility that they know towards them and towards us. We played a friendly game with Kuwait Club. Kuwait Club, they have 7 players from Kuwait national teams, or 8 players, I think, and also 2 professional players, very good professional players. Stringali playing for Italy national team, and also Franklin playing with them. We played a very good friendly match. It's a good sign for us to keep going.
Mhm.
30th of March, we're playing one of very, I think, if I was a player, it will be also another like achievement for me to play today against Japan. Japan is one of the, biggest name, or
They're
one of the
second, always first or second in Asia,
best
just
second
between them
age.
and Iran.
Yes, and also the last World Cup, they did a very great job. So Japan coming over here to UAE, and we are very glad that we have this like match to be played on 30th of March, and it will be the last, let's say, the last exam for us, or the last preparation for us to go for our final step. So far, I'm very happy. As I said, my players, my stuff, everything's now it's going in the right way. It's going now in the right direction. Hopefully, when we reach there, we are 100% ready to go through to AFC finals by playing the qualification.
Mhm.
We only UAE played the AF like the finals only by hosting. It will be history to everyone. History for myself that I'm I can write this history, like I'll be the first coach who take the UAE national team qualifying to AFC finals, and also the players, they will be the first players who qualify to AFC finals. So everyone has the chance to write their history, and I think it's very important for us, and we are focused to do this.
I really hope you guys make it. I feel the whole country is behind you. The whole country, the UAE community, the futsal community, everyone is so tight in like a good family, and everyone is
Yes,
supporting you guys. And it's so good to see futsal being treated so well in UAE.
I would say I'm very lucky here today. In UAE, as you said, we can see whole UAE behind us, but very important UAE futsal committee behind us. UAE, all the coaches, from the clubs. I would say most of them, they all are supporting. They all together. You can feel it. Everyone, the coaches supporting, the other players supporting, and this is very important. Like you can see us very united to go through, and this is giving us more motivation to do it.
So to go through, what do you have to do? You play Iraq, Bahrain, and
First match, 5th of April, we're playing Iraq, and then 6 we playing. The next day we playing against Bahrain.
Next day, there's no rest between the days, the games.
No rest. So we playing Bahrain. Uh, our group is 3 teams. The second group is 4 teams. So it's a West Zone. We're having two groups, A and B. A group is 4 teams. B group is 3 teams. The A group is Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Palestine. And second group, Iraq, Bahrain, and United Arab Emirates, UAE. So 2 teams qualify direct to AFC. And then if you didn't qualify from first and second, the third, they will play the playoff to go through. So I think even the competitions, as you can see, especially I'm with a group with the 3 teams, we have a good option this year to make it. Even I would say I'm lucky for this.
Is there any nations missing this year? Or it's always like these, only the 7 teams,
no.
7 nations?
There is, I think, Qatar is missing. Kuwait is missing because they are hosting the AFC.
So they're already qualified.
Yes, so they are already there. Normally we have Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan sometimes. So, but these nations, Qatar and Jordan missing, and Kuwait is already in a final.
Now, very good, very good. I hope you guys make it. I'm going to be supporting. I'm going to be watching. And feel anything you need, be sure that I'll be here to help you. Rafa Fogager is going to be there to help you because he also loves you. I actually have a question for Rafael I'm going to ask you. Rafael is asking how many sets of bench press you do because you look very strong.
No, one day I'll go with him training in the gym because he's in love now with the gym. So one day I'll pass by with him and go to gym together and try to do this.
No, very good, very good. Raouf, before you go, we always play a game called the Rapid Fire Questions. You have 40 seconds to answer as many questions as you can. You have to be quick. Don't think, just answer. There is no right and wrong. Nothing's going to be bad for you. They're just like simple questions. The top of the table is the guy is called Damon Shaw. Damon is from the UK. He was working in Poland before.
I know him.
You know Damon well. Good.
Yeah, I've met him in Spain in UEFA Champions League.
Very good. Damon is a lovely guy and also a very smart coach as well. So Damon is answered 13 questions. So if you got 13, you're top of the table, okay? So, but it's hard. Damon is the only one. Everyone else answers only 11, 10. So it's not easy. You have to be quick. But you used to be a good futsal player, so you're gonna be fine.
Okay, very difficult for me, but let's see.
All right. So I'll just put the time. When the bell rings, you can still answer that question. So when the bell rings, you can still go for the last question. So you ready to go?
Let's go.
3, 2, 1. Best futsal player in the world?
Falcao.
Who is the best? Sorry, my bad. Currently, okay. Let me start again. 3, 2, 1. Best futsal player in the world currently?
Ricardino.
Who is the best futsal player to ever play in UAE?
Jabber.
Name one Emirati futsal legend.
I think Jabber.
Do you enjoy more playing or coaching?
Playing.
Favorite futsal system, 3-1 or 4-0?
4-0.
One attribute that a good player must have.
Pass.
A futsal coach that you admire.
Marco Serrato.
What's the strongest futsal league in the world?
Spain.
One futsal player from another country you wish to have in your national team. Ferrão. Look, you got 9. I told you 13 is really hard. Damon did really well that day.
Sure. Damon is a very clever guy, a very intelligent guy. Sure, he will be in the top. But good, I did 9 is enough for me.
For a retired futsal player, but come on, he's still a coach.
No, that's good.
Captain Raouf, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We could stay here for 2-3 hours, but I'll let you go. You have training later on, so it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
After like 15 minutes, Thanks again for you receiving me in your podcast. It's really an honor to me, and hope to see you again in UAE. We will not leave you there in Australia. We need to see you back again here, and you are always welcome here. It's your home. You have so many friends, brothers here. Whenever you are here, it's your home. So
Thank you so
thank you,
much.
and hope to see you one day. And
Thank you so much, Captain. I wish you all the best for the upcoming tournament. I'll be supporting you guys. Congratulations on everything that you have done on your career and also for Futsal in UAE, because Futsal in UAE needs more people like you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we are very grateful to had you once in UAE. Also, we need someone like you to be here. They have this passion to improve futsal. They are in love with futsal by nature. And you're one of the guys like futsal is everywhere in your blood.
So true. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for listening to the podcast. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.